Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Lighthouse Ministries, where we tell our testimony on how God led us from the darkness into the light. So, you guys, we be talking about how to trust God for a house, an apartment, a car,
A new
whatever.
living space.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you hear anything in the background, disclaimer, that's our children. They're watching TV or whatever. But okay, so we just want to say, how did we learn to trust God for a house? Okay, so the situation we was in was a couple months ago, almost a year ago now. We was in a hotel room for a really long time. God had moved us to Dallas and was in a hotel room for at least 8-9 months. And we just got tired of the space, and God was not letting us move into a house. But we decided, like, hey, let's apply for some houses anyway, even though like God didn't say it. Big mistake. I don't know how it is in your city where you from, but in Dallas, it takes a lot of money to apply for a house. Some of it's like $500-$600 just to apply.
So, you might get denied. You ain't getting
your money back. I'm just saying, it's gone, and they're gonna deny you quick, like in 10 minutes. But so we applied for some houses, and every last one of them was denying us. And so we got discouraged, and we just kind of gave up on it. But it came a time where God said, apply for this apartment building. And first he had us go on a fast, okay? And we went on a fast, and God spoke to me during the fast. Well, actually, was it towards the end?
Yeah, it was the last day, I believe.
Okay, yeah. At the end of the fast, he spoke to me and said, this is the name of the building. I'm not going to share the name, but this is the name of the building that I want you guys to apply to, and I'm going to give it to you. And so I look up the building, I call it, I'm like, okay, well, I'll do an application, I guess. I wasn't feeling it. I just felt like, I don't think God is really going to do it. I don't know, like, it's impossible. Because all this time we had learned that we had 2 evictions on our name. Really bad credit.
And one thing about Dallas, they go by credit a lot.
Credit, evictions, all of these things.
I think one of the biggest things is your credit sometimes.
Yeah. So we get down there, and I'll let you do some of it.
So I get down there. I ain't gonna lie, I was discouraged based on the previous things we was going through applying for houses. Honestly, it was just 2. And we applied for 2, but we got denied because it wasn't our timing. Sometimes you have to wait on God's timing because he's putting a work into you before you get to that place.
God had to go before us to set it up.
He had to go before us to set it up. And so I went to the place. He applied for the place first, and then, we eventually got accepted. We were surprised, but...
Okay, wait. Before we go there, now, let's skip the part. Okay, I applied for the place, and immediately, like the next day, the lady called me and said, well, you're accepted, but it comes with a little issue.
I was finna get to that part. Just let me go. Okay, you can go.
So, okay, I'll just tell it. Well, it came with a little bit of an issue. So what happened was we had to pay $1,400 on top of...
I think it was $800.
The moving in fee. And things like that. So it was almost close to about $2,500. Let me tell you, we didn't have $100.
Yeah.
And we didn't have $100 in our pocket. We totally didn't have no money on this. It was just, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Now, God, you said it was going to get approved.
And the thing is, don't think it's going to be easy sometimes. What I thought was that it was going to be easy. If God going to do it, it's going to be easy. Okay, it's going to be something simple. One thing I learned is that trust God. He might put that right there for you to build stronger trust within him. To be like, it might seem impossible, but I'm going to make it possible for you.
So we ended up praying about it, and we was like, well, maybe God didn't want us to have this apartment. Maybe I heard something wrong.
Yeah.
And so that's the devil trying to convince you that you didn't hear God the right way. You know what God told you. But God gave us confirmations after confirmations. He said, apply for the house. You're going to get approved. And so, we decided, okay, well, you're going to provide for us. If you want us to have this place, you're going to provide for us. And so we decided that we're just going to trust and believe in by faith that God was going to get us a house. And 1 week later, we ended up having everything that we needed for the house. All the income, all the money.
It's crazy because we made it that morning too. We made half of it the other day, a couple days, but we make the rest that following morning before we have to leave our Airbnb timing.
Yeah. So we'll stand at the Airbnb at that time, but we ended up moving into the house, and we just gave thanks to God because we knew that His word came true.
Yeah.
So if anyone is out there and you feel like it's hard to believe God in a circumstance like that because it seems big, you know, we had bad credit, evictions. We was new to the city. Our IDs was expired. Listen, we don't have birth certificates at that time. We didn't have so we got socials, but I think that was about it. We didn't have nothing, not even a good job to put down on the paperwork. Literally, I think we had like only her job at that time, but your check stubs was not like.
I actually stopped working around that time.
Yeah, God was like, no, you can stop working around, and
because I think my client ended up dying like a week before we actually moved in there, so I ended up stopped working. But God provided.
Check stubs wasn't the best, but God said, tell the truth, and I will make a way for you.
Yeah. And
so we told the truth on the application. We put down the things that we needed to do. We did it. And God made a way for us to be able to move into that place. And it was all because He said that it was time to. So if you're waiting on God to get you a new apartment, a new home, just wait for God's timing. He will tell you. And sometimes it's hard. Like I said, we was in a hotel room for 8-9 months. Over half of a year.
Yeah.
In a dirty hotel room.
Small. We got two kids.
Small, with 2 kids. And we waited for a long time to see those promises.
Because it was a timing that God needed to do. And remember, in that timing, God is working on something within you for that blessing, for that house, for whatever you asking God for. It's something He's working in you for it to where He's going to take you.
Yeah. So if you guys are waiting for a house or waiting for anything like that, leave a like, and leave a comment. If you choose to share a little bit of your testimony, if God have gave you a house or have blessed you with something that you had to wait on.
And I encourage you I encourage you to wait on God. Trust His timing, and He will do what He needs to do for you.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching our video. We see you guys later.